In this video, I will show you exactly what cold calling strategies I use to close $10,000 every month. Let's get started. So, let's start with the basics. What even is cold calling? Cold calling simply means reaching out to people who don't know you yet, usually business owners, and offering them a solution. Let's talk about cold calling itself. If I asked you what the goal of a cold call is, you're going to say, obviously, to make a sale, which is only partly true. You see, even though you are calling to make a sale, your goal in a cold call is not to sell directly. I will explain that later in the video. Okay, so how do you cold call? You start with writing a script. Script writing is a whole science by itself, but I will give you a quick overview. It starts with the most important part of the script, and that is the opener. The opener is the key to keeping the other person listening. Then it goes on with the pitching part of the script, where you tell them why you're even calling. And the last part of the script is the closing. These are the three overall parts. Okay, now let's start to break it down. First, the opener. As I already said, this is the most important part of your script. Business owners get a lot of calls throughout the day, so when they get a call, their resistance level is very high. So the job of your opener is simply to lower the level of resistance they have against you. But how do you actually do that? You do that by interrupting their pattern. What works very well here is humor. People like to laugh, and when you make them laugh, they generate sympathy for you, which automatically lowers the resistance level. An opener with humor looks like this. Hey, is this Paul's Roofing? Yeah. Hey, Paul, I know you're going to hate me, but I'm a salesperson. Do you want to hang up now or give me 20 seconds and decide then? This opener is strong because we're using two tactics at once. First, we use humor because no person hates someone just for a call. Secondly, we give them the option to hang up beforehand, which also creates trust and lowers the resistance level dramatically. What I absolutely don't want to hear from you is something like, hey, this is John, I'm with XYZ Company. Are you interested in? You are not going to have any success if your opener looks like this. Now, I want you to listen to this audio and tell me if you think this was a good cold call or not.
Okay, so the reason for the call today is now offers an excellent health plan package specifically designed for self-employed individuals only. These health plan packages offer full coverage, lower copays and deductibles, a PPO network, which allows you freedom of choice and income protection, far more benefits and a big savings.
Obviously, this was far from good. And what's even worse is that this is how billion-dollar insurance companies train their employees. Now you know how your opener should not look like. Okay, let's move on to the pitch. In the pitching part, your aim is to convince them that what you are selling actually has value for them and their company. Don't get into too much detail unless they ask you to. From here on, it really depends on what you're selling, so I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm selling websites, so once I get the go-ahead, I'm going to say something like this. I've looked at your Google account and noticed you don't have a website. Is that right? Normally, then they say something like, no, we don't, but we don't really need one. Okay, so you can't handle more customers right now? Yes, I can. What do you mean? If you have a website connected to your Google profile, Google ranks you higher. And since you don't have a website connected, your competitors rank much higher than you right now. Customers are calling them instead of you. You can see that now I have added value in the form of new customers to his company. I've had hundreds of conversations like this. If you can deliver the value without using complex words he doesn't understand anyway because he's not into tech or whatever you're selling, he's almost guaranteed to buy. Okay, now to the last part, closing. In the beginning of the video, I told you that it's only partly true that we are trying to sell in a cold call. That is because a cold call is only the first part of the sale. The real goal of the call is to get him to join a Zoom call. I mean, just think about it. Business owners usually don't have too much time anyway, and certainly not if you just call them out of the blue. But if you make an appointment with them, they will actually take the time and listen to what you have to offer. Then you can also ask him questions about his business. Maybe you can even upsell him on something. For example, I always offer an email service with the same name as their website, which makes a lot of sense. This would not be possible in the cold call itself. So after he showed interest in the pitch, you can say something like, "How about we get back together on Friday on a 10 to 15-minute Zoom call? I can show you more details and answer your questions there." That's it for the script part. Now I'm going to tell you about some of the rules in cold calling. The number one rule, you could say the golden rule of cold calling, is never, never, ever pitch the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper can be an assistant or someone else before you can speak to the decision maker. You only want to pitch the decision maker. This is easier if you are calling smaller companies like roofers, plumbers, and so on, because 90% of the time, the decision maker picks up. If you are calling bigger companies, there are special tools out there that help you to get the decision maker's phone number directly. Okay, now to the end of the video, I want to tell you something from my real experience. Depending on what companies you call, roughly only 10% will even pick up the phone, and you will 100% struggle in the beginning, and this is completely normal. My first cold calls were brutal too. My heart was racing before every call and my palms were sweating. Use a power dialer to make calls faster. Don't get frustrated even if after 100 to 200 picked up calls you didn't book a meeting. Stay focused, try different openers, and hang on to it. It's definitely worth it. Once you have the skill, your product doesn't even matter. You can start selling everything. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. See you in the next one.